I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Hello, Nancy. So nice to see you.
Hello, Ann-Peggy. Good to be here.
Yeah, and I hadn't really taken the time zone that you are 10 hours ahead of me, so you can predict my future.
Yeah, that's right. I can tell you what's happened 10 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. And we were chatting and you were talking about this golden age.
Yeah, I think one thing I've known since I don't know what age I was or something like that. In fact, Celera Green helped me to see a lot of things back, in our 30s. But that I have been here to shift an age. So that's one thing that I've known. It's a very broad, term or something like that, but I'm here to shift the age. And the age has shifted. Like it's now shifted into the golden age. So it's almost like, oh my God, all that work that we did all of our life, what we needed, were pulled and called to do, to shift it. It's all done and dusted. So it's such a different space we're in now. And I've heard that alignment of all the planets that has come on a few days ago, the 21st, 22nd of January of 2025. So like yesterday, the day before, that 1.9 billion years ago, that alignment happened again, and it brought in the dark age. And now here it is happening again in January of 25, and it's bringing in the golden age. So the age has shifted, the golden age, like all the planets, all of our consciousness, everything's showing us that something has shifted dramatically on this planet.
Yeah.
And that's my come from places, what the individual, what you're doing to drop what you almost think you've all learned in the dark age.
Yeah.
And actually come fresh and new into this new age, and in the new energetics that are around us, in the new jobs that we have now, or opportunities or experiences that are now, which are different, and really, coming at everything fresh and new, because everything is shifted.
Yeah. And there are so many terms about it, because you also heard the axial age. It's like also the turning point, but that was in 800 before Christ, and to 200 before. So it was a period of 600 years. They saw it as the axial, like a turning point, where the thoughts, where we are living with now, has started. So we have lived with, and now it is another shift. So this shift is kind of even bigger than the 600 years that laid the ground for what we have lived in now.
Yes. And you can see if we're looking at 1.9 billion years ago to then just 2,000 years ago or 5,000, you can see it's probably been groundwork been laid all along. And when you look at the big picture, it just simplifies everything. That it somehow it just relaxes me, because it's an unstoppable force.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what's happening in our world around us is some horrific things. I understand that, but I don't let myself get pulled into that. You could just send your blessings, send your love, whatever you're pulled to be doing, but I don't get into any of the drama of it anymore, although I used to. And because I can see that is just dragging out the dark age longer. And I don't want any of my energy dragging out that. We've had enough of all of this. We're ready for the new possibilities that are here. And the new experiences, the new, abilities that we might have, like the teleporting and the, I don't know. Teleporting is just high on my list, but also the increase of our intuition, speaking to the other animals and species that are on this planet, and in a real way, and having a completely different relationship with Gaia and with our bodies, and all of our perceptions just blown wide open, and everything that education has taught us, which is almost like coming to dead ends, is all that they ever gave us. And now inventions are exploding out to all this, and we learned that what we were taught is not true anymore. Like there's so much more to be learned that actually open it up so much wider to the next levels and levels and levels of mathematics and physics and chemistry and all of those things that are going to bring about health and well-being and more vitality, and actually make differences in the societal systems that we live in, to actually make a difference that everything's going to actually be a lot better. We're not just going to live trapped.
No, and I love, because I'm playing so much with it, and I have become the medicine woman of the new era. So I travel and get medicine, because this has been my kind of, I've been interested in medicine and health all my life. And I have also go the shamanic path, like a lot of people have done. But the old way of the medicine woman, it was the way we understood the earth as we have understood it. But the new era is like you travel in time and you connect to everything. We have connected to everything, but I go to future life. I am planning my next life. So I go to this life also and get medicine, future medicine. And I love traveling. And also what is happening is like I'm so ultra sensitive. I feel everything. So I experienced the new that the only thing I need to do is go out of my head. Now, when I go out of my head and open my heart, I feel everything. It's like, wow, it's a complete other way to live, because you feel everything. I can feel you can feel trees, you can feel the earth, you can feel the future. And when this opens to me, especially, I remember especially in 2017, that happened for me. And it was, I saw the future and I saw everything. It's like, no, 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 no. It was too much. It's like the opening, it's too much. And you see, so I say, I can't handle it. I don't know, because it's almost like you turn crazy. So when it opens, it can be scary also.
Overwhelming.
But because now I love it. But when it really started in 2017, I said, oh, I saw so many things in the future, and what I'm going to do is I can't do all of that. But so if 30 years comes in once, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So everything is here at once, and you sense so much. It's like, oh, my hands are open. I can sense everything. So the hands are kind of, it's almost like the hands are the, what you call it, like the octopus of the heart.
Yes.
So yeah, I think this is so fascinating. So the way we have lived on Earth is totally shift from what we're going into now.
Yeah, we're just so closed in, and it's just the fact that we still have the question, is there life outside of planet Earth? I just laugh that our little kids, grandkids and stuff that are, that's still there. It's like, oh my God. Anyway, so do you heal with your hands? Like,
yeah. That's also was one of, because people came to me as a therapist. I had a lot of tools and I wanted to use my tools as a therapist. But people came, I want healing. And well, I have tools. But I had to just surrender, because they just wanted healing. They said, your healing is like, I don't know, miracle is happening to me. So that's also one of the way in for me. I understood that, okay, I had a lot of tools, but when I just went out of my head and all my tools, what I wanted to do, be a good girl, perfect therapist, then something miraculous happened. So
yes.
also in 2010, 11, it started, and what healing? But yeah, so that's also I try to understand. So my way has been to understand everything that happens to me.
But that would be one of those new abilities that is coming online for us, is this healing with our hands, because the energy can be quite intense coming from them. And so that is, the fact that I think more and more, I think every person on the planet has the ability to heal through their hands, but it's, again, some have more the propensity and some not. But when this is just taught in our schools and everything about how to do this naturally, we're going to be amazed at the abilities these grandkids are showing up with.
Yeah, and like being a medicine woman, I'm shown that all humans are medicine woman and medicine man. We are going into an age where we learn at school that we are our own medicine, so we can heal ourselves. So we are already starting this path that, okay, I am my own medicine. I'm God. I can heal myself. So it's not that, well, of course, someone it can be better and had the expertise of Mother Gaia herbs and all of that, but we will learn at school from early age, oh, we can create ourselves anew, we can heal.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a slow progress, because a lot of people would hear that I'm God and just be horrified, right? And you can, like, I'm seeing so much more about how you actually have to meet everybody exactly where they're at.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they just coming along exactly what for them. Like, it was too much for you, the overwhelm.
Yeah.
If it had come in a little bit more, you'd have been, powerful and strong with it, without going into the overwhelm and stuff like that. Well, that's the same with all of these other people. And so I can really respect that. If everybody woke up suddenly, or we're just trying to force it down their throats or something, there'd be so much fear and angst and whatever coming out of everybody's energetics. It would fry the earth. Like, we don't need that coming out all at once. I think the plan of Gaia and each person's own source self, and to come along gently until, with the experiences they need, to slowly awaken, is a way better plan than us being impatient that we just want everybody to wake up right now.
Yes, I agree. But
it's too much.
The youth that if you see as yourself, you know that you are God of your body. If you can think like that, I'm God of my body because I decide what I want to use this body for. So when we start to think about, okay, I have all the power to decide what to do with this body.
Yeah.
It's the first, like, okay, I'm God of my own universe. And that's kind of the concept that we are gods of our own universe because we are a universe.
Yes. I guess I would say masters of my own universe. That would be a little bit easier for more people. But I completely get where you're coming from, and and ultimately they're the same.
Yeah, it
whether
is.
it's master.
And also because we have so many, if we talk about God, Jesus, and a lot about this Christianity, people, because we have poisoned the names, and it's human-made poison. So I want to use it to kind of balance it out. So that's why I use it, because I know that people get triggered, and I said, I'm not here to please you, I'm here to trigger you. Why are you triggered about this word? Because when I met Jesus several times when I had this. No. I couldn't. I didn't want to meet Jesus because I had so much condemning against him, because I felt it from my society. So I met a lot of entities past, and Steve Jobs, that was okay. And I talked to a lot of people. When Jesus came, in the beginning, I said, no, I don't want to relate to you, because I, in myself, had so much the judgmental of Jesus. Yeah. So I had to work with that. And then now, when I talk about Jesus, every time I do it, I feel it now also. My heart opened completely. So it is a Christ energy, and the Christ energy open our hearts. So that's the only thing. But when he came in the beginning, it's like, no. So I chose to not open my heart, just because of I had a trouble to up to this word, Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we have our prejudices that
Yeah.
lock things down. Well, that's amazing that you've met him and that you that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I
and
can't say that I've had any of those situations.
one of the biggest one was when I was in a meditative state and I was supposed to meet one of my ancestors. And
Ah,
I thought it was my great grandfather that and he would hold something special to me. He had a gift for me.
yeah.
And it was on here in North Norway. We are on the what you call the plateau. We don't have it. So it was in my habitat, and he was sitting there next to the fire. I only saw his back, and I went towards him, and we sat there. And when I sat next to him, I didn't see his face or anything. It's like, oh, the peace. It was so, oh, wow. It was serenity, peace, and it was so, ah. And then
Mm.
we were supposed to rise up and I would see him in his eyes. And then it was Jesus.
Ah,
I said, you are my ancestor. So I was like, again, you. But we didn't talk, we telepath. Even though we were
yes.
telepath, and he took his head against mine and our third eye met. And then he transformed serenity and peace. And after that, my mind was totally quiet. So it was a
Oh,
big, yeah, that was a big thing. And I cried because it was so wow. Because you know the monkey mind.
yes,
It,
yes.
it's sometimes after that, it's like, oh, everything is okay. I'm at peace. And but he came as my ancestor. And it's like, well, it's 2,000 years ago, of course. But so
Well, you probably have ancestors a lot longer than that, but how good to be in the lineage of Christ.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So, but then I had open to it. But I wanted to say that even though in the beginning when he came, it's like, no, not Jesus, but it was just so I also have to work through it. So I'm glad that I had, and also the opening so big. And I said, no, this is too big because I can relate to it. It can be too big, and the words
Yeah.
and everything. It is ourselves. So we are the one that stops this.
Yes, definitely, definitely. With our prejudices. So that's why, as much as we can, to recognize what we're bringing from the old, recognizing, prejudices and perceptions, ways of seeing things that no longer serve us, that they have that limit on them. And so I've been recognizing over the last years, you can actually recognize them even when you're starting to speak about things, and you can hear, oh my God, I'm repeating the same old story that is perpetuating energy that's really not true. And so having to stop myself on that. And a lot of that is around the body as well, what my head tells me about my body. And that's not being loving to it. And so because my relationship with my body is definitely changing, not for something that just I want it to do what I want it to do when I want it to do it. It's this, so there's so much more out there to be experienced than the limited perceptions we've had.
Yeah.
And that's what I look forward to. So even if I'm 74, the future of the next 20 years or however long I have is going to be living everything that I think in a lot of lives on this planet to shift in age, it is finally here. That is, you can hardly comprehend.
Yeah.
That if you realize this is it now, like how many lives have we lived shifting the age, and that we're in the year where we actually see it happening here on the planet, not just in the energetics, which has been the last 10 years. You see the shifts in the energetics, but you don't see it shifting anywhere in your life, or in the life on the planet for people generally. But now you're seeing everything shifting, everything's falling over, everything's coming to an end. It just seems like so much is going to fall away this year. And I just think it doesn't matter, if I'm older, there's so much to live into and to just be excited about and joyful about, and for what my kids and my grandkids can be living into, and who they are and what they're going to bring to the future as well. It's just, I don't know. I just sometimes cannot grasp the fact that it's here now.
Yeah, yeah. And we are concerned about our kids and the future, but now we see, okay, the future will be better than ever for our kids and our
better than ever,
because we have and the shift is like it's a fight energy. The old is a fight energy. Everything fight. You have to fight, and you have to. It's a hard energy to live in, and the new is like everything is in flow, and it goes so easy, and we know who we are. We know that we are on Earth for just a second kind of experiencing life, and we can see it as a playground. What do we want to experience? And to focus on all the good things.
Yeah. Do you sort of notice that the more you're in the flow of creating what you want for the future, for yourself and for your family and for the planet, that what is actually occurring on the planet right now, the wars and the whatever, it's getting less and less, it's kind of fading in my experience or something like that. It's not like I'm trying to ignore it. It's not like my head's in the sand. It's almost like it's not real. There's something made up, faked, pushing hard. They're pushing hard to keep the dark age going, and it's just dissipating around them, and so it I don't know. It just doesn't feel solid or that real anymore to me in my everyday life, and so
I think it's very real for the people who live in Gaza, because we see extreme in
100%,
Gaza. Yeah,
100%.
But we are getting smaller, kind of. So we see that all the wars and what's happening there, they are coming into our country. So we see that they are a wounded part of us. So we understand that, okay, we are wounding ourselves. So we have still a little bit of an autoimmune disease and an inner war, because what is in the outer is in the inner. So we are going to that okay, everything that's happened to ourselves. So we are waking up to this. And that's why I mentioned to you before we started, one of the men that I kind of resonate a lot with is Gabor Mate, because the books he write is the same what I write, and he write about health, and he's a doctor, and he see that everything that happens, it's kind of mirroring the inside and the outside. And
absolutely.
And he was in a ceremony in 2019. I think he's 75, 76, yeah, maybe around 80. I don't know the age of Gabor, but he has been a very good doctor for a lot of years. And then he did ceremony and was taken totally out of his intellect. And then, wow, because he was taken into this new world, that, wow, it's another shift. And even though he was open to it and he had heard a lot of his client explain it, then he experienced it himself. And this kind of, wow. So also he is helping the new.
Everybody on that, like the ones in Gaza, they're doing it so hard. It's unbelievable. But it's like, as you say, it's all one thing, really. So to me, they must be the strongest of the strong to come in as a soul and know that you're going to have that happen in your lifetime. They just have to be so strong, because they're holding something for us all. And it takes such bravery and courage, but it still is like, it's going to be at an end at some stage for them, and everybody will be just, thank you for doing that part of it. But all you can do, if I let their circumstances bring me down, it's not happening to me in my life. So what can I do? And for all the love and the light and the shifting that I can do from my safe place, will be helping them as well as they are helping the world to wake up. We are helping it to anchor the light in, and together both are necessary. So so it's almost like you have to take their sacrifices and what they're doing and not waste the opportunities, but by being as strong and centered and, you know, more and more expansive and awake to do whatever it is that's yours to do, and not let it take you down when you're not even in it, you know, you're not there experiencing it.
Yeah.
So I'm finding a lot of people more do that. And some people might find that they're there supporting, helping, like whatever you're doing. There's 7 billion of us, and everybody's doing their part in the whole to get it all done. And you can only be doing your bit the fullest, and then there you're helping everybody and recognizing everybody else is doing their fullest. And
I'm reminded that my son committed suicide 10 years ago, and when he came, he's born again, and he said, Mama, I'm coming back in physical form. And he said, we are two souls going together. And I had never heard about this when he told me that. And then I spoke to Lily Bendis in Norway. She has worked a lot with this. And I said, have you ever heard that souls go together? Yes, sometimes they go 10, 15, 20 if they take hard lives. And that's probably what's happening in Gaza. A lot of souls go together in one body to really, because that is so hard, challenges. So when you talk about that, it's like I was reminded about the conversation I had with my son. It's like we go together when we choose hard lives. So this is not from the mental, because we think it's all one singularity, but souls go together in a body because this is a hard life. So we need kind of more strength, or I don't understand the complexity over there, but I can imagine that a lot of souls go together in one body to be there.
Oh yeah, because it just to me they have to be the strongest of the strongest. I have such admiration for somebody that would choose that you know, a life that was going to be, you know, they were doing that for the planet.
Yeah, they do it for planet, and they're doing it for an ancestor. They're doing it for the totality of us.
Exactly, for the shift of the age.
A shift of the
you know it really is something like that. And before too, I had my sister, who's passed over as well now, but she used to be like, she's such a powerhouse, such a huge being, and such compassion and empathy for everybody, you know, but she got walked over in the life. So she'd let people walk over her. And now there was just some understanding that I had once that I told her, because it didn't feel like nice in a life that, you know, different people at the different work or different whatever, and even another sister of mine or whatever, that you'd feel like you got walked on, you know, instead of admired and, you know, whatever. And then I just had this glimpse one time, and I thought, there's you and there's everybody else that's like her, because a lot of people at that time, so we're talking about 20 years ago or something, a lot of people at that time were like that, you know, these, and all the abuse of women and all that kind. And it's almost like I could see all of these powerhouses coming in, because it was going to be friggin' hard, and it was almost like they laid themselves down upon the earth and were walked on in a way. But what they were stopping was the future ever having to do that again. They put their bodies on the line, and it wasn't going to, it stopped with them.
Wow.
It was something about that I could see my sister actually taking on that role quite happily on the other side, and coming in this body. And then it looked like it was a hard life, but in a way, you know, when she would have gone back to where she came from, I'm sure she would have had, you know, celebrations and, you know, like, oh my God, look at you guys have done, like, because there was a whole mass, a lot of the people. It wasn't just my sister, and then we're seeing a lot of it is being stopped now. So it's not like it's stopped there and then never again in the future, 20 years from now. Of course, it's continuing on, but there's something about their it stopped with them, and it will be exposed and stopped now. It's not going to be able to continue. And then you do.
We are still stopping the old. So we are several that kind of stopping it. And we understand that when people are rude, when people are really doing hard thing to us, they are actually wounded. They are playing up
Yes.
their wound. So the more we wake up, it's okay, they are mirroring their universe. But now
Yeah.
we don't need to play out that anymore. We understand that, okay, all the wound that you have played out, it's over. We are in a shift, totally shift, where we can sense everything. We can sense your pain is my pain. And so it's like everything is a mirror, and we project like the book Heaven on Earth. So we project our inside out. So instead
exactly.
so the shift is, it's a totally shift. So we know that if we hurt our neighbor and get out our things on our neighbors, we actually affect ourselves.
Yeah.
So
that's the new perceptions, isn't it?
Yeah,
that we're getting. Yeah. And you're so much more empathic. God, I've got something in my throat here. In that deeper understanding, you're not taking it so personally anymore.
That's true.
So you can understand it's their projecting their pain. And so it changes how you react to them. You
Yes.
know, you find yourself responding to them as opposed to reacting personally, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And that's been one of the biggest shifts I've noticed in myself, because I was a very big reactor.
Yeah.
And quite powerful in it or something. And, you know, if it was injustices or anything like that, quite powerfully reacted. But it is, yeah, something quite big has taken over, and more compassion and everything else taken over. And they're just, you can tell that it's their pain, and they need, you know, the more love, you know, not less, and not more abuse put on them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's changing my come from place quite dramatically. And I like myself much better with this little bit of grace, you know, being more gracious and more compassionate. It's just, yeah, I just like that kind of myself as that person way better than what I used to be.
And I have been in so much communities, and in a lot of this community, they have been crazy against each other, and I have kind of been in the middle and get the crazy thing from one of the side, and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you shouldn't have all of that," but I understand that that's their pain. So
Yeah.
it's like it's easier for me to do it. So I have been into system to system, and it has been really hard. And one of the system is like, okay, even though I knew, it drained me in a way, because it was like being in community with psychopath and wanting to have it their way, manipulating, and you kind of bring that up. It can be hard, even though I knew that this was wound that came up, and people just went away, and yeah, it's what we have created. It's crazy. It's like all the wound we have put out there, and we are so afraid. And well, yeah, but I have been in so many systems that just bringing up the corruption.
Wow.
And the thing, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know, but somehow, or I'm kind of guided all these places.
Well, it must be something about that healing energy that you emanate.
Yeah.
That helps to bring it up so that it can go. If that's where you find yourself, that must be one of your superpowers, to be able to deal with that, because that is not easy at all.
No, it hasn't been easy. But when this was shown me as my weight in 2013, it was, I didn't know I would do it this way, but it was like I was guided all the way, and it kind of into this system and into politics. Actually, I was into the politics, hospital,
Wow.
and so many organizations. And yeah, so when I started, so when I said yes to this, I didn't know that I would go to all of these different organization works and politics.
Yeah.
Christianity and religion, and yeah. So yes.
Wow. Wow, it's amazing what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't see it as I went in there for healing because, oh, I'm going into politics. Ah, exciting.
Exciting. Ah.
But yeah, but yeah, because what I said in 2013, okay, I will be the change in the system. And when I said it, I didn't know how to do it, but I was led into different system. And then I, after a couple of years, said, okay, the system are humans. So we are the system, so we need to change. So the more I kind of just was there opening my heart, because people said, you are so honest. Can you be so honest? You will get eaten. But I just show them that it is possible to be honest, because we are
Yeah.
afraid of being honest and having an open heart. So
Yeah.
what I actually did, when I haven't thought about it, but the thing I brought in is was an open heart, being honest, and people said this is too honest, but we maybe it felt too honest because it was kind of the opposite, being so clinical and manipulative.
Yes. Yes.
So I kind of brought in the open heart and a healing in that, and something started to happen.
Fantastic. See, that's what we need in the future. If politics is going to survive,
Yeah.
we've got to get rid of what's been happening, and we got to bring in integral, honest, open people who sincerely love other people and want to help them. And that is not what you find in politics right now. It's just no, it's the antithesis of that. So good for you for
Yeah,
starting.
but actually the party I went into, they wanted the diversity. And they was, do we want diversity? Do we want, but it laid on, we want the diversity, because this was a new party. So they have all the perfect foundation, but at the same
Oh,
but at the same time, because we also inside a party, we are mirroring out what we have. If there are people in this party that are hurt, that have wound, that becomes a part of this energy. So that's why
uh-huh.
being in a group and being in everything, all of us come in. So it's like the hurt part of us kind of will be a part of this organization.
Yeah.
It haven't
Yeah.
worked itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for parties and politics to kind of, okay, we say this. If you have 5 members that have deep trauma, this trauma will affect this
Yeah.
party. And that's, even though they stand for the 10 people who are wounded, if they don't heal and if they don't work with them, they will affect the party in a negative way, even though this is not the intention.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But right now, the ones that actually have the power to say things are usually the ones that aren't for the good. Around the politicians that are having the wars go on and having all that kind of stuff. It's not for the good. So yes, we're not talking about, I guess, the grassroots people who
No.
would go into it. It's more of the upper echelon. So I'd love to see a whole new thing happen there.
Yeah,
Which
but
you're finding in some countries, aren't they? They're
yeah, and
getting
I
rid
think
of
the
the
next 5 years, I think we will see some amazing thing the next 5 years. We will
yeah.
see even more intensity, because the darkness is really trying to hold on, really trying, but it cannot do it anymore, because
It
the
can't.
gap and the opening is so big. It is,
Yeah.
the turning point has been here. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. This isn't just us saying
No.
that we want a golden age. This is from source and creation itself.
Yes.
That is now the golden age is shifted into, and the change. We're just at the beginning of it, and that's why it looks like a whole. But it's almost like the wounds coming up.
Yes, it
is what we're seeing,
yeah.
And it then getting cleared off. But this unstoppable force of the good it just will dissipate this in who knows how many years. But we're going to see. We won't see what we've seen in the past. It's going to look so different.
Yeah.
And we'll see real change, because there'll be people in power or people in the communities, the grassroots, that actually want to see the change and are doing that right there at the grassroots. So it's going to change. Yeah. You can promise everything at the top and then never do anything, and nothing gets done. And that's what's been happening forever.
Yes.
But but this will be people really, like Zach Bush wanting to heal the soil of the planet of America, that has been destroyed. And they are one plot at a time. They're actually doing it, and finding the way forward, and sharing the knowledge, and sharing that with other farmers around the world. And so that's what it's making the difference right away. And this is, and in so many areas, every area is like this.
And also all the kids that are coming in, they are of the new. So they hold the new. So they will also, when we communicate with the younger, it's like they are totally fresh and they think in new ways. And if someone is not in this box of thinking, it's like, well, they have another ability that we need. So they see a bigger picture. They know that they are kind of connected. So yeah, and I also see my kids. It's like, wow, you really where I'm now. They are kind of, but they are younger than me, and they.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really see a great, amazing future.
Yes, me too.
But at the same time, we have poisoned Mother Earth, so we have a lot of work to do on Mother Earth because we have done so much. We are just taken and taken advantage of Mother Earth. So we have kind of polluted, and the foundation in the sea also. So we have to do some, as we call it, what do you call it? It's the 30, the 20-30 kind of gold.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about what, I just really believe that with all the new technologies being freed up now, that actually can help the planet. The new frequencies, the scalar waves, and technology that we couldn't even imagine, but is out there and discoverable, like Tesla's free energy that could have been there in 1945, but it got shut down and put away because you can't make money out of free energy. So it's so many of the technologies, I think, could actually probably heal us and cells and the earth and the waters and a lot quicker than we think, and from the air, and maybe restore things could grow quicker for reforesting, and like I'm not sure, but I believe in technologies we don't know about coming available and making things go a lot quicker to heal everything, as opposed to it's going to be a long, time before.
But also we have to, because as I said, we are all medicine woman and medicine man. We have access to the free energy. So we are an instrument that just, because I see it in me and I see it in a lot of people. If we balanced, we have access to free energy. So the old way of thinking, we think, okay, we need food, but we need a little food, but most of it we need water, clean water. The age we are moving in, I'm shown that the biggest goal for humanity is clean water. So if we have a kind of war, it will be to get the cleanest water. And that's also why I'm shown that the Nordic country, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, country here, we have very clean water. So we will be people will like to come here because we have kind of the gold for the new human, because it's so clean. But maybe...
I'm not... David Clements, have you heard... I've just recently discovered David Clements, but he's a physicist, and he was on that when we had the call with Celera, with Pam Gregory. Pam Gregory interviewed him, and also David Sala, who's an ET. He just even looks at. But anyway, so this guy David Clements actually makes little pyramid-looking things that clean your food, clean your water. It works on magnifying the quantum energy field that is already there and available, that just changes everything right away. And people are buying them now and changing everything. So you can put it on your water system from your house and change your water to beautiful structured water with just these devices. So there's not going to be wars and coming after your country.
No, it will never be worse, but clean water is kind of it is kind of something we really want, because we are fueling ourselves on clean water. That's the thing we need as a body. It's more important than any other thing.
Anything, and there's lots of different things that are affording people that. Yes, they cost money and they're, you know, whatever, but there's different things coming out now, technologies that are about the cleaning the water and structuring the water, and so that, and then people finding, it's just so much better when they drink that for their bodies. So so I think it will be available to, you know, everybody eventually. There is ways that they're dealing with that already.
So so you said that it's already begun, because we know that is important. So this shift has also begun. I didn't know that, but that's amazing. But because water, that's one of the foundation that is important for us to have this access to the free energy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, well, that'll be.
Wow. Yeah. So we actually have come. Because also the news, most of the news aren't telling us all of this, so we have to find it out.
Yeah. I'll send you that link, you know, and let you listen to it, because it is very exciting. I just, as I said, I've just learned about it myself, but it's just lovely to hear all the different technologies that are available that are really helping humanity right now, like in real terms. It's just so nice to see it, that you just know it's finished.
There is really hope, and we really see, as you said, the golden age, and what we have longed for, because this is what we have longed for. When I was in my journey, kind of, I was longing for home, and I thought home maybe was when I was dead. But now we are turning it, the longing is inside us. We are home. I'm home in myself now. So it's like we are finally coming home on Mother Earth.
Yes.
So this is, wow.
It's a fantastic, and that's what's so exciting for us. That's what gives us the vitality and the reason for living as well, is that because it is so exciting what's coming, and what is each moment, what you can discover, and the more things available for you to be, you know, accessing that and experiencing that. Oh my God, it just just bring it on, just can't wait. And I don't really mind the good, bad, and ugly. To me, it's all the same, and I will weather it. Whatever it is that's bringing up is the thing that is there to evolve me. And so I've given up my preferences for things that I used to call good, bad, and ugly, and beautiful. And I only wanted the good things. Now I realize some of what I would have called bad things actually give me the most growth. When I get through to the other side. So now I've had so many of those, and I've grown from them, that now when they come, it's like it's not even a blip. It's like, okay, bring it on. It just, like, regardless of what it is, you know, some things are harder than others or whatever, I wouldn't say, but I'm just recognizing, and I guess that's a wisdom too from our older age. for some of us that are older, you know, for the ones that are younger, just like trust the process. And don't make anything good, bad, or ugly. Just embrace whatever is occurring for you, and get through it as graciously as you can. And on the other side, you're going to see the reason for it, and you're going to actually embrace and realize that was good for me. And all right, I understand now. I will accept everything that comes my way. I will keep evolving, and I will shift this planet along with everybody else and do my bit, you know?
Wow. It's like, this was really kind of a hope. It's like, it's here. It's really here. So we have shifted. So it's just to hack into it. It's not a mental thing. It is a being, a sensory thing. Just the more we kind of are in our senses, kind of out of the ego and open heart, it's that easy, and at the same time so hard.
It's like we've been disconnected from our true source beings. We've just been disconnected a bit, and just more in our heads. but we can be connected fully now, right? You can feel it just flooding your being here, and source is coming home here in this body. But I didn't realize how important this body was until you see what it's doing and what it's allowing, and what it's the experiences it's giving me as an energetic being. This body is giving me the experiences. So my love for the body and my gratitude is just so much more than it ever was. And my gratitude for any kind of circumstances coming my way, because they shift me. And I in a way I do wish that I was younger and know what I know now. And then I mean, that's just, and then I give it up and I realize, oh, look at it, just took what it took. And I believe too, nobody has to learn a lot of stuff to do their contribution to the planet. To me, you're born with it.
We are born with it.
You lived your life on top, but underneath you were always 100% doing exactly what you should have been doing, energetically, whatever. You've never been off track. Nobody's ever not been doing everything full on. And, you know, and just on the top is all that stuff that we said, oh, we weren't doing this and we weren't doing that, and I failed here and I didn't fail it. You know, it's like all that's just, let that go and just come home to yourself, into that place where you are always on and just the most beautiful being, you know.
I can give an example of that. When I was younger, when I was from 1 year to 5 years, I healed people when I was a baby, and my mother think it was a kind of embarrassing. All people came to me and they gave me money because they felt the good energy, and they had laughter, and they also, everywhere we go, people come to you and they give you money because they like you so much. But I actually healed them. So I was born, as you say, we are born. But my mother was ashamed because all people, and she's the opposite of me. So she was a little bit holding back. So I have learned so much to my mother because she was born in a habitat that had a lot of wounding. But I did it naturally. So if I had just, that was I did. So I had to come back to what I did as a baby, being a medicine woman, a healer. Now I'm here so I had to use 40 years to come back.
Well, I mean, you are the lineage of Jesus, so are you surprised that you've got the healing? No, nobody be surprised.
Well, you don't think about that. It's like, I haven't thought about being the liver, but when you start to view your life, oh, I actually did this as a kid, and my mother said, well, all people come to you, and you.
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
But I think if you see our kids, what are they doing naturally when they are 2, 3, 4 years? Because it's already in them, as you say.
That is already in them, and I can recognize that. I've got 6 grandkids, a 7th coming, and the uniqueness of them, each of them, you could just see, oh, they're all uniquely different, but all of their hearts are very good, like, you know, very open from the new. And so they're going to, you could just tell, and all the other kids that you see and are around and stuff too. And, you know, you just think, oh my God, when these guys are teenagers and adults and running the world, it's done. With just no problem with them at the helm. So I'm hoping I'm still around a bit to see a lot of it.
Yeah. Because what will happen the next 5 years and the next 10 years? It's eureka kind of, because we have already turned. So it's now, if you just see what happened from 2020 now to 2025, it's amazing. You know, the age and all what happened. Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
I really love the conversation.
Lovely. Well, thank you then for having me, and continue your healing for the planet and all. It's wonderful.
I will. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. You can follow divinedesign.it on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. from the divine in us to the divine in you.